What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of my Madden 24 franchise. And judging off of the teams here and the thumbnail, you guys know, you guys voted for this. It is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that we are going to be representing for Madden 24. I have taken quite some time to think about which team I wanted. And I'll be honest, the Buccaneers were not my first choice. My first obvious choice was a couple of other teams that were already chosen by some of the other content creators and ones that are much more established on the platform than I am. And I just did not want to give you guys something that is the same that you're already finding on YouTube. And I also did not want to get buried by any of the bigger content creators by picking the same team that they had. You know, it doesn't make much business sense for me. So after weighing my options and looking at the teams that were chosen, I think the Buccaneers are a solid team to rebuild. There's a lot of questions. There are some decent young pieces to build around, and I'm really looking forward to being able to build the Buccaneers back into a solid winning team. Now, I know they won just a couple years ago, but I don't think we can really count the Tom Brady days as like the team being built to that point. It feels like it's just the Brady effect, right? And since then, they've had to let go of some players. The players that were here have gotten older. They're not as in their prime as they were during that run. And now it's time for the next series. It's time for the next chapter in the Buccaneers' life. And I want to be the one to build that up. And the Bucs sort of have a little bit of a soft spot in my heart, if you will. One, they're a former NFC Central team. If you don't know, before the last couple of teams were created and added to the NFL, the Buccaneers were in the NFC Central with my Vikings, the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears. Throughout my childhood and my life, I have gone down to the Tampa and Clearwater area as more of a family vacation, and because of that, I've always sort of cheered the Bucs on. So this is a really cool project for me. I'm looking forward to it. And there's a lot of different options we have. So before we get into too much, let's go ahead and let's check out this roster. And here is the team that we are going to be working with. Some of you guys, if you're Bucs fans or just NFL fans, you know this team has. And I do for the most part as well. I just want to share with you guys my opinions, where I see the team going initially, and my plans for the immediate future. We're rocking with Baker Mayfield, John Wolford, and Kyle Trask at quarterback. Not a big fan of that, to be honest with you guys. I like Baker in real life. I'm sort of cheering him on a little bit, but Madden did not give him any love in the ratings department, and I just don't know where he's going to be in a couple of years. I don't think he's going to be good enough to rack up enough XP to get to like, you know, an 85 and something respectable for a starter. So, of course, the quarterback is probably going to be one of the first things that we address. Looking at the running backs, Rachaad White, man, I really like Rachaad White, and I definitely want to give him a shot, but I am not against bringing in another running back, trading for one, drafting one, whatever the case is. He's 24. He's still young. He's got a solid frame, 6 foot 214. I like the elusive build. As you guys know, I like my power backs. So chances are I will be bringing somebody else into the fold to go along with Rachaad White. But I am excited to see what we can get him to do for us and if he can turn into a playmaker for us in the passing game, running game, all sorts of stuff. Moving on to the receivers, we have two very good wide receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Usually I prefer to have to build the receivers and really everything, but I'm happy with this because we have Mike Evans. We're going to need to bring in a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, something along those lines. To have two veterans like this that he can rely on is going to be big for him moving forward. And I like Mike Evans too much. He is going to retire. I will tell you guys this right now. Unless he refuses to sign with me, I don't know if we're going to get rid of Mike Evans before he decides to hang it up. He's just a Bucs legend. You know what I mean? I think I mentioned that in my top 5 teams to rebuild, that Evans needs to retire a Buck. And Godwin, he's such a sleeper in Madden, and I know he's good in real life, but if you guys have played with him or against him in Madden, you know what kind of damage he can do. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And then down here, we have Russell Gage as a 3, but I'm really excited about Trey Palmer here. Now, Palmer is a rookie, as I'm sure most of you know, and he has been really turning a lot of heads in the offseason in real life. And he's got some great speed, 95 speed. Just need to work on the mechanics of the position, the route running, the release, that sort of stuff, and the catching, of course. So I am probably gonna put him as one of the starters, maybe the 3 right away, maybe the 4. It depends what I see, but I really want to get him some work to see if we can build him up a little bit. And I'm excited to see what we can do with Trey Palmer in the near future. Outside of those 3, though, there really isn't too much to be that excited about. David Moore, sort of your journeyman depth guy, special teamer, and they have a couple of other rookies, but I don't think they're going to be able to dev enough to stay on the team. We'll see how it goes. Moving on to the line. The line needs quite a bit of work. They have 2 good players in Wirfs and Jensen, but outside of that, it's very iffy. The right tackle needs an immediate upgrade, like immediate. The guards are both subpar at best. I do want to see what Mausch can do, because he is a rookie this year and he could be a great mauler in the middle if we can build him up enough, but he is already 24. So that is a little concerning for me, considering he's a lineman and considering that, Madden is not the best when it comes to developing after a certain amount of time. And yes, I know we can adjust it this year, but I still need to stay realistic. You know what I mean? I can't make it to where a lineman can upgrade and receive good XP until they're 35 years old just to meet my own needs. That's not how I roll, as I'm sure, or I at least hope you guys know by now by watching my content and my franchises. So the line is definitely going to be an area of concern. And then the tight end. I think Cade Otton has a chance to be a good tight end, but I just don't see him being a tight end 1 in my franchise anyway. Maybe in real life he develops into that. But here, I think he's going to be a tight end 2 at best, or maybe not even on the roster. I don't know yet. He'll be here for this season, of course, because there's not a whole lot you can do at this time, but it's something that I've already been looking at and thinking about replacing. Moving on to the defense, and that is where there's a lot of questions, in my opinion. We have Vita Vea in the middle. He is the stalwart. He will be here. But then what are we going to get out of our defensive ends? I'm really excited to see what Kalia Cansey, I think that's how you say it. But anyway, I'm excited to see what he can do. He's got a very weird build at 6'1", 280, but it's almost intriguing to see if we can turn him into a great player, sort of like John Randall, Viking. If you remember that guy, he was like sub 6 foot, 250 pounds. He played D tackle. Like you just don't see that, but he was so good that you just could not deny that he was a talented player and let him play that position. So I really want to try to build him up. He could be a great defensive end in the 3-4 system that the Bucs run. And that's one of the guys that I'm really, really excited about here in the first season. The other side right now is held down by William Golston, and obviously that's not a long-term solution at all. There is also Greg Gaines, but I almost want to see what Logan Hall has. He was the first overall pick in the 2nd round just a season ago, and wow, they really did his face bad. I know it's just an auto-generated face, but that's not even close, and I know there's faces that probably match him up a little bit better than what they gave him. Like, that's just so dumb looking. I might honestly change that just because of how dumb it looks. But anyway, let me get back on track here. Hall has the ability to potentially be a good defensive end. We're sort of working against time. He's 23. He's only a 70. He would have to have a pretty big year to get enough upgrades to solidify his spot as a potential starter in the future, but it's something I want to see. So chances are I'm going to start Hall and Cansey right away from the jump and just see if we can develop Hall a little bit before the end of the season. And now on to the second level, which is, of course, the linebackers. The linebackers are pretty good. This is a spot that doesn't need a whole lot of assistance, but it's temporary, right? Levante David, another all-time great Buccaneer. He will probably be here until he retires as well. They have Devin White, who is the younger linebacker. If you guys watch my Texans franchise, you know Devin White was a huge part of that team and that defense, and I would love to keep him here. We'll see if it ends up playing out to be that way, but regardless of that, with it being a 3-4, we know we're going to need somebody else to start growing behind David, as we know his career is definitely on the back 9 as opposed to the front 9 at this point in his career. And the same can be said for Shaquille Barrett, a great edge rusher for the Bucs for the last few years, but it's easy to see that the spark isn't there like it used to be. He's getting up there, and we are going to need to replace him soon. Can Tryon Shoyinka be that guy? Can he develop? That is something we have to find out. but we will definitely need at least one more or two more edge rushers to make me feel a little bit better about this room going forward. And then on to the last level, which is the secondary. Defensive backs are very good on this team. Our two starters at corner, excellent, but it falls off a cliff after that. McCollum is here, and I'm excited to see what he can do, but he is a 67. You know, that's a reality we have to face. And another guy that's already 24 years old. So will he be able to develop in time to be useful to us in a starting role, or is he going to be more of a role player for us in this franchise? So corner is definitely something that I'll be looking to build up, because we need more than just two guys, right? We know Dean and Davis are good, but we need another guy, at least one more guy. So that will be something to look forward to as well. Antoine Winfield Jr., enough said, man. One of the best safeties. I love watching him play. If you didn't catch my top 5 video, I mentioned how I loved watching his dad play when he was a corner for the Vikings, one of the toughest corners I've ever seen play. Just a real gadget player at the position, and I want Winfield to be a great safety in the league. So that is going to be my goal for the franchise, turn this guy into an all-time great. And then at the strong safety is Ryan Neal, somebody who can hold down the position, but is he going to be the long-term answer? I don't know, and that's something that I'm looking forward to finding out as well. And then now it brings us to the second reason I thought this would be a great team to rebuild. And that's because look at their cap situation, guys. It's not that good. They have so much cap penalty. They have negative 1.7 million in cap space right now. That's including rollover, so extra money they weren't supposed to have. This is going to be a tough rebuild, guys, at least for the first season. Will we be able to make too much noise in free agency? I don't know. Will we be able to re-sign some of these guys is another question. And now I just realized that David and Evans are both in the final years of their contracts. Wow. Okay. Same with Antoine Winfield Jr. This might be tough. This might be tough, but this is why I wanted to take this team over. There is some turmoil right now with the contracts that are on the team, but also contracts that are no longer on the team. Okay, so now after we saw the intro to the team and we've looked over some of the finances, this isn't going to be a very long video, guys. I'm not doing a game in this one. We're not going to be doing a whole bunch of simming. I just wanted to do an intro and get that part out of the way and then focus on the rest on another day. I hope you guys are enjoying some of the tip videos I've been putting out. I will be having a couple more coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'm just doing some more research on gameplay and things like that so that I can make an informed video and I'm not just guessing at things. I don't like to do that. So just trying to learn a little bit more about the things that I want to do a video on before I end up recording it. As you guys know, with my franchises, I always do a lot of extra stuff, right? To make it a little bit more immersive and entertaining. This year, I'm going to try and take the gloves off a little bit because we've all heard all the stuff Madden talks about, the new AI thought process, the new team building coding that they have in the game, the new way that free agency goes and the drafting goes and how the team learns things and all this. So I want to try and see if that's true. If it is not true, I do have this, as you guys can see, the little create a save point down below as an offline franchise. So that way I can go back to what I was doing last year if it calls for it. If I need to, I will. I would like to not have to do all that work, because as much fun as it is to watch the stories play out, it is, and some of you might know this because a few of you have commented on that video I did about the guide of setting it up and doing it, how you guys do this yourselves. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be doing this outside of your own team. Now, some people might enjoy it. I do to a point, but because I'm trying to create content and I got other stuff going on, it can get overwhelming. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that this year, but just know if the game is too stupid still, I will go back to doing that. I just want to try and take the gloves off first, see how the season plays out, how free agency plays out, and if it needs to be interfered with, I will do that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go through some of the people on this team and just cut out the dead weight, right? We're negative 2 million almost right now. I would not carry 3 quarterbacks. I know I won't. And John Wolford being 1 overall better than Kyle Trask and costing us 1 million, just not okay with me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut John Wolford. That frees up a little bit of cap room. And then here at the running back position, I'm going to cut Patrick Laird. And he's 28. He's a 68 overall. And that frees up another mil. At wide receiver, I think we are good to keep the guys that are here for now. Doesn't see much. Oh, holy cow. Okay, yeah, we're going to just cut like almost half of these guys. Why in the heck? I'm sure one of these guys is like a great long snapper or something, but since Madden doesn't care about long snappers, I can't really either because it just takes away from my available cap room. So we're going to cut all these guys. See you guys later. Cut it down to 3 tight ends. Not really liking the options we have, but there's just not much choice right now to cut them at this point. I might cut O'Keefe. If I can create enough space to bring on OJ Howard, him and Otten might be a decent 1-2 for the season as we transition a little bit. I have a lot of extra interior linemen, like too many. Let's get rid of John Malchin. I mean, that mustache he had in that picture, I mean, I almost had to cut him. And then we'll cut Aaron Stinney as well. Almost to the positive. I'm not sure how we're still not in the positive. Considering I've cut about 5 million off, but every time I do, it only takes away like 100,000. So there must be some kind of stuff worked into it that I'm not seeing. So I'll leave that alone. I feel like these kind of players, like I'm sure maybe they might stick around in real life, but just what is the point of me keeping these guys? You know what I mean? What is the point? I just don't see much reason for it. I have yet to find a player that I can actually cut that'll give me a good savings amount. And I'm sorry guys, if you're a Bucks fan or something and you know some of these players that are a little bit lower down on the totem pole that might make a roster, you know, I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I'm just trying to make this the best Madden roster I can make it. So I can't I can't go on the field with a 62 overall. You know what I mean? I just can't do that. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm just cutting away at the stuff that I know I don't need and can't use. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to cut him. I can save 970,000 by cutting Cam Gill. I'll just leave that alone for now. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of guys that we can move around, so there might not be much I can even do. What the hell is Anthony Chesley? Oh, well, he's gone. Okay, down to 100,000, so almost there. Almost there. But I don't think we're going to get there. Oh, Jesus. D. Delaney? Sorry, D. Delaney, but you got to get out of here. Hey, look at that. We're positive $50,000. We're almost rolling in the dough at this point. And Nolan Turner is going to be bye-bye. All right, so that... okay, Jesus Lord. Rodrigo Blankenship has been cut by the Bucks today. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. I just remember seeing it on Twitter /X/ formerly known as Twitter. So, bye-bye. That is about as bare bones as I can cut the roster down. I still don't even have enough to try. Like, there's not even enough money to try and sign a single free agent. So we might be a little SOL on that front. And there really isn't a whole lot of contracts that I can try to restructure. Because majority of the bigger ones are on their final year of their contract. So, like, even like Mike Evans here, who's got a huge contract, it's the final year of his deal, so I can't restructure it. Well, since we can't sign anybody, I guess we should just simulate to the regular season. So let's get to the cut down week and we'll go from there. All right, so here in week 3, we got a wide receiver mentorship. I'm hoping this is for Trey Palmer. Oh, hell yeah, we're getting one for Trey Palmer. That's what I like to see. We already know that he needs help getting open, so let's go there. And then short routes, medium. His best bet is short routes right now. So let's go with the short route option. There we go. And then he gets 2 to release and 2 to short route running. That's a good upgrade right there for him. So after the 3 games, these are the upgrades we have. Jake Camarda is going to be getting an upgrade. And I'm just going to go straight to accuracy. It looks like he gets power anyway. Oh, just 2 to kick accuracy. That works. Rashad White's going to get one. That's a nice upgrade to get. Of course, we're going to do that to elusive back. Oh, wow. What a good upgrade. He got 1 to agility and 1 to speed. Chase Edmonds is going to get 1 as well. And the same thing for him, elusive. I really wish we had a power back. I don't think we have one on the entire roster, but we really should have one. And speaking of, there's Trey Palmer. He's going to get himself an upgrade. And I think we'll go slot again to continue that trend that we started with the wide receiver mentorship. He gets catch in traffic, 2 catching, medium and short route running. And I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I don't want to go through all of these players. We'll do Yaya, and that's the last one. We'll just do 1 to power rusher for him. I mean, I'm just going to sim the rest of these. Okay, awareness, power rush, and 2 to tackle. This should be a pretty easy cut down. I would like to keep Sean Tucker on the active roster just to try and build him up throughout the season. I just don't know if I should. We'll see. If I can keep 4, which I usually can, then we definitely will. And then here at receiver, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 receivers. So we're definitely going to have to make some decisions. I think I would rather cut David Moore. So that way, if we're going to keep some younger guys on the roster, we could do like a Raheem Jarrett or who was it that's been making some noise? I think it's Raheem Jarrett, if I remember correctly. I was looking at some stuff about the Bucs on Twitter, or X, or formerly known as Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. So we're going to go David Moore, cut him. I mean, we're going to suck regardless. You know, this is the first season. The team is not in a very good spot. We're not going to do that well. Well, at least we shouldn't. So I would rather just get these young guys involved and get some plays into them before trying to build the team up. So 1, 2. Okay, so we're down to 6 now. I think that'll be good. 2 there. Okay, so we have plenty of linemen. I'm just going to leave them alone. We have 5 players left. Well, Pat O'Connor is definitely going to get cut. Sorry. I was going to cut William Golston, but I checked and he has the mentor role. And since I'm trying to build up Cansey and Hall, I'm definitely going to leave this alone. Cansey and Hall will be our starters at defensive end for the first season. On this side, though, I mean, since we have 3 over here, I should probably just cut everybody except Greg Gaines. Yeah, there's no point keeping these guys. So cut there. Cut there. Definitely need to cut some people over here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move Charles Snowden to practice squad. And then what we're going to do is we are going to cut Keenan Isaac. So there we have it. We're in week 1. The roster cuts are done. And now it's time for us to just really get into the whole franchise. This, like I said, is going to be a shorter video. Not a whole lot of action here. Just wanted to introduce you guys to the team. Get the wheels turning on our next franchise here. And set sail for episode 2. So I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Consider hitting the like button if you like what you saw. Consider subscribing if you've not already, if you want to see some more, and hitting that bell notification so you know when those videos go live. And I will see you guys next time.